it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to Wrestle Hunks Weekly. I'm Brady Price, and as always, I'm joined by the Gary Garbutt to my Roman Reigns, Nathan Marlin.
How you going?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, great.
We got plenty to talk about. A lot of wrestling happening this weekend, which is always nice. So we've got some predictions later on for Extreme Rules and AEW's Fight for the Fallen, so we'll get stuck into that. We'll start off with some Raw and SmackDown recaps to wet the whistle, so to speak, Nathan. And Raw sort of started off with a mixed tag elimination match, which the rules of that sort of don't really make sense, but Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch defeated Andrade and Zelina Vega. What are your thoughts about the couple of mixed tag wins in 2 weeks in a row for Becky and Seth heading into Extreme Rules?
I guess it gets the tag team chemistry together, I guess. It's a little bit sad for Zelina Andrade. I actually was listening to an interview from Zelina Vega on Busted Open Radio, and she said she was really excited to be main eventing Raw. That interview happened day off, so it's kind of brutal. It's really good that Zelina Andrade got a chance to have a spot here. The match is weird. I'm so grateful I don't watch Raw because fucking weird elimination match where one gets eliminated, but it didn't make sense because then Becky couldn't really wrestle.
Yeah, once Becky got rid of Zelina, she couldn't really come back in the match because it's supposed to be the women's.
It just doesn't make any sense, to be honest.
So I want to know what happens if Andrade beats Seth there. Like, what happens with Becky versus Andrade? Is that a thing, or
I don't know, because she's the man. And I don't have a whole lot of thoughts. Hopefully this upcoming pay-per-view is the end of the Seki or Roll Lynch or whatever you want to call them. I hope it's Brolins. That's on. Zelina calls him Zeki. I hope it's the end of it because we got a terrible shirt out of it. The man's man.
Yeah, that's just an attempt at some money.
Some attempt at some money.
I just had this in there because, it's the two main champions, and it was on Raw. So, like you said,
Lacey Evans did punch her straight in the face.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, post-match, Baron Corbin and Lacey attacked Seth and Becky, and Lacey got a nicely square on the jaw. So
fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it looked all awkward and shit. Like, she didn't know what she was doing, and then she fucking clocked her. So
yeah,
kudos to Becky for taking that one. That was a good hit.
It was.
Rey Mysterio returned from injury, which was very exciting until he got squashed by Bobby Lashley like a minute later. What are your thoughts on this? Is it sort of just trying to keep Lashley even stronger after last week's segment?
But it makes no sense. Like, they didn't need a touch until they didn't. Strowman didn't appear, but Lashley didn't need to appear till the pay-per-view. It would have made sense.
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't get it, and just what a shit time for Mysterio. Like, just he comes back pretty quickly from an injury that was supposed to be a while, only to be put through a 30-second squash match. And I think if they still do the wrestling through the ad breaks, this match doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. It seemed kind of pointless having him back. Like, Lashley looked strong regardless from last week, so I guess I can see why they did it, to try and make him look even more like a badass, but it didn't work for me. It just sort of annoyed me that Ray came back for this. It seemed like a waste. Cesaro defeated No Way Jose, and Cesaro sort of starting to look a little bit stronger and getting a bit of a push here. What are your thoughts on that?
It's well, I guess we got to see the Cesaro versus Aleister Black, so we're getting that. So, I guess it's just a way for someone to run through. I wouldn't be mad if it was Cesaro versus Ricochet for the 500th time.
That's true.
Because they put on some barn burners.
Speaking of Ricochet, he defeated Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in separate matches on Raw, and then was attacked post-match by AJ and Gallows and Anderson, and they sort of stood tall with AJ looking to gain the US title. They have a match at Extreme Rules. What are your thoughts on Ricochet and him sort of being the babyface getting beat up by the heel faction?
I really think they should have done this other way around. Carl Anderson had the first match, and then Luke Gallows beat Ricochet. I feel like that would have made a lot more sense rather than just tear through them. It makes them look like absolute goobers.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Ricochet is a very no offense, but he's a very small guy. I feel like I don't know. It's weird. He's kind of almost overcoming the three of them.
Yeah. Well,
So it'd be interesting to see what happens because this is going to be one of the better matches we see this year.
yeah, that's for sure. We had a beat the clock challenge come back on Raw, which was nice. Bayley beat Sarah Logan, I believe. I don't remember the exact time, but then Nikki Cross beat Bayley's time. She had a match against Dana Brooks, and Nikki Cross won the beat the clock challenge, and she got to decide on behalf of Alexa Bliss what the stipulation was for the SmackDown Women's Championship match, and she decided it would be a handicap match. So it'll be Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss against Bayley. What are your thoughts on the beat the clock challenge and now the added stipulation?
It makes sense. It's like the big clock challenge didn't really do much for me, but I appreciate them bringing it back.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's also a way for them to do short matches on Raw to get through those before the ad break. So that's cool, I guess. I like adding Nikki Cross to the match because it makes sense. Like she seems like she has a lot more momentum than Alexa Bliss. So it'll be an interesting dynamic when they all come to blows.
I didn't have much here, but Drake Maverick is still the 24/7 champion. He made it out of Raw unscathed, which is good to see.
And he's going to consummate his marriage.
Yeah, he said on Twitter that he's too tired from running, so he hasn't done it yet. But
they're going to soon when they go on their real honeymoon.
This is just quality content again. It's not getting old at the moment, I don't think. What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
I'll take it up. I'll take that as I sort of like it, sort of don't this week.
It was a bit up and down. I don't know. Just spinning their wheels kind of thing, if you know.
Yeah. And the main event, we saw Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre defeat Roman Reigns and Gary the Goat Garbutt. This was sort of a little bit weird. Throughout the night, Shane and Drew were sort of going through backstage because they were going to pick the partner for Roman Reigns. And it turned out that Gary Garbutt was actually Cedric Alexander under a mask, which was nice to see Cedric in the main event. What did you think of all this?
I thought it was different. It's like it was weird in a good way. Not gonna lie, I thought was kind of hoping Gary the Goat could have been Mustafa Ali. A bit of just the superhero kind of guy, but seeing Cedric on Raw is kind of cool. But we already know this is not going to lead to anything, and he'll be chasing Drake Maverick around next week.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet that Cedric Alexander as in the main event is better than him chasing.
That's true.
Champion, which is true, and it's awesome to see him in the main event. But like you said, I don't know if it goes anywhere post this week. It would be nice, but I don't see it.
How do you pitch that to Andrade and Selena? We're gonna have a janitor in the main event, but not you guys.
They really thought they were going to be the main event, and said it's Cedric in the main event for the first time. So
that's funny.
Over on SmackDown, a lot of controversy and Twitter buzz caused by Kevin Owens to start the show. He was sort of kicked out of the arena after starting a parking lot brawl with Dolph Ziggler. Shane kicked him out, but then Kevin Owens got back into the arena, surprisingly, cut a promo and sort of just let loose on how Shane's always on TV, even though that's not what we want. No, the crowd doesn't want it, things like that. The line of the night was, "There's more than one microphone over here, idiot," which was nice.
And then he took the headset.
Yeah, exactly, which is great.
Told us that Apollo Crews, Liv Morgan, AOP, Kairi Sane aren't getting enough of a go.
Yeah, which was awesome. And a lot of people throwing their support behind Owens, all the wrestlers that aren't on TV. So What do you think of this promo and sort of Kevin Owens turning babyface, so to speak?
Amazing promo. Like I'll be honest, I've shat on Kevin Owens being a babyface before, but this kind of promo really just like it strengthens his character, and really happy that he got the chance to do a promo like this because it really helped his character. And where do you see Kevin Owens going from here? Is he going to feud with Shane again, or?
Yeah, see, that's where I don't know. I love that he's the babyface, and it sort of makes sense. I've seen people sort of compare him to CM Punk when Punk did the pipe bomb promo, and everyone sort of just he was a babyface just because he was speaking out for the crowd and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. But I'm not too sure what they do. I'd like to see him next week with a megaphone, so that they can't cut his microphone off and things like that. That'd be kind of nice. But do you have any other thoughts on this?
I just hope it leads to something for Kevin Owens, like something major that's like in the actual main title scene. Otherwise, it's kind of a failure, I think.
Yeah. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Finn Balor in a pretty convincing fashion in their non-title match. Does this sort of excite you that they might actually give Shinsuke somewhat of a push, or?
Yes, it is exciting, but it's kind of obvious usually when they do a non-title match. It's like, because I swear everyone on Twitter thought this was for the title originally.
Yeah.
So because everyone was going off, why isn't this at Extreme Rules? So this hasn't been announced for Extreme Rules, has it?
No, if it is on the card, it hasn't been announced.
So I guess it's just a SmackDown kind of feud. It's interesting to see what they actually do with Nakamura. There's always the buzz that he was going to leave or something. So I hope for his sake that he gets a proper run. I think they didn't handle him the greatest with the AJ feud. So maybe this is a bit of a comeback for him.
Yeah, that would be nice. Nikki Cross defeated Carmella, and that was after a contract signing between her and Bayley, which is sort of just furthering this the feud and sort of just it's the last sort of thing that they could have done before Extreme Rules. So is there anything you sort of thought of that?
Pardon?
What are your thoughts on the contract signing and Nikki Cross getting the win over Carmella?
I don't know. I didn't really care for it because once again, it's just a short match. You could have just left it to. You didn't even really need a match. I'll be real. You didn't need a match. You could just have the contract signing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm kind of excited for this. Let's see, because it's gonna have a lot of story. It's gonna be like they working together, and eventually Cross and Bliss might come to blows, and kind of excited for it.
Yeah. What else happened on SmackDown? Otis defeated Daniel Bryan and Xavier Woods in a triple threat match, which was nice. The crowd was kind of into it when he was still in the Caterpillar. What do you think of Heavy Machinery picking up a bit of momentum ahead of Extreme Rules?
I like it because personally, I don't think Heavy Machinery are going to win Extreme Rules. I think that's why the New Day are there. A bit of a fall kind of team. But I love watching Otis wrestle. He weighs more than both these guys put together. I liked it. I liked that they did a triple threat match. It's on SmackDown. I liked it.
It was actually a really good triple threat match. The crowd was into it, and they did a great job. So, they did a really solid job with this one, which was surprising. The promos beforehand weren't great. The one line was Big E saying that this isn't what he had in mind when he heard there was going to be a 3-way on Sunday. It was pretty solid match, and it's, I think it'll be a good triple threat tag match as well at the pay-per-view.
100% should be a banger.
And then the main event was Roman Reigns defeating Dolph Ziggler. Sort of chaos ensued with McIntyre, Shane, and Elias at ringside. But then, with his back turned, Shane McMahon walked into a stunner from Kevin Owens, and then Reigns got the win with a spear, I believe. So, any thoughts on this main event segment?
No, less Dolph Ziggler for me, the better.
Yeah, he just keeps sticking around. We keep thinking he's leaving, but
it's just it's just a bit of a Christian. Just one more match.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't know. this more progresses an Owens Shane story, which I don't want though. But I kind of getting the feeling that Taker and Roman will win at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Kevin Owens, but it is looking, Kevin said in his promo that there's too much Shane McMahon, and that's not what people want, and yet this feud is probably going to cause us Shane McMahon. So it is what it is, but that's the sort of recap for Raw and SmackDown. Not a great deal as we head towards the pay-per-view, but speaking of Extreme Rules, let's get into our predictions now. I need to catch up a little bit this weekend with our predictions competition, so we'll see what we can do. The first match I have here for Extreme Rules is for the Cruiserweight title, Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese. Who do you have winning this one?
I have Drew, the motherfucking man, Gulak.
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Does this not have a stipulation behind it?
If it does, I didn't see it.
It was kind of weird because by the sounds of it on 205, it sounded like they were going to have a similar no rule stipulation, but clearly probably not the case.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it sort of makes sense. I'm going with Gulak as well because he just won the title last month. It doesn't make sense for him to drop it yet. So maybe I'll back Gulak in as well. This next match, we didn't really mention it, but SmackDown, Aleister Black's opponent had been revealed. The man that was knocking at his door was Cesaro. So,
I told you this was going to happen.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on Cesaro? Do you think this is a good choice? And also, who do you think will win the match?
A great first choice because you're going to get an absolute, almost show-stealing kind of match. And Cesaro can take a loss. Yeah. So, obviously, because you're obviously not going to have all this build-up for Aleister Black to lose. So, I think this is going to be a great match. And hopefully, Black picks up the win.
Yeah, I've got Aleister Black winning as well. It just doesn't make sense for him. It's sort of like a re-debut for him.
Yeah.
His fresh start, singles on SmackDown, it makes no sense for him to drop his first match. So I've got Aleister Black winning as well. And like you're right, it's going to be a very fun match. It's probably one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most on the whole card.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I agree with you.
There's a triple threat match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Daniel Bryan and Rowan defending against Heavy Machinery and The New Day, Xavier Woods and Big E, obviously. So who do you have winning this one?
I'm going to go with the reusable champions, Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Yeah. It doesn't make... you don't really think Heavy Machinery are ready for the straps yet?
No, I don't think they're... I mean, they are ready. I don't think... That's the problem, but I think the better story here is having Bryan and Rowan retaining over the New Day, so then you have room for everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll go with Daniel Bryan and Rowan as well. Just makes sense. They seem like they're in the middle of a decent title run that they can sort of keep going with, and I agree with you. New Day to take the pin makes sense. Another tag team title match, the Revival against the Usos. I pray that this one gets a bit of time, but we'll see. Who have you got out of the Revival and the Usos?
So, yeah. I'll go on the Revival.
The boys.
The boys.
Yeah. I mean, they're sort of... it's not really a push, but the new character that they've sort of got hanging around with Shane and Drew McIntyre, it just seems like it makes sense that they keep...
Did you see the segment where Dash Wilder was getting massaged and then... The lady wasn't doing it good enough, so they did it himself.
Scott Dawson took over.
Scott Dawson, yeah, that was good. He'd be paid her for it. Oh, good shit.
Yeah, they're just top guys doing top guy things. So
they have a new T-shirt. It's It's like the old Brainbuster shirt. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. I think I didn't put it down, but I think on Raw. They lost a 2 out of 3 falls match and a 6-minute.
Yeah, they did. No, they won. I thought they won. It was them and Elias.
It was them and Elias against the Usos and Miz. But either way, I think the Revival will win. It just makes sense. The Usos have been champions before, and the Revival are sort of in amongst the main event somewhat. So I'll back them in. Then we got a last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. What's the interest like for you? I know you like Braun, and I don't know what your thoughts are on Lashley, but what are your thoughts on this match?
Would you say? Oh, my thoughts on you don't know my thoughts on Lashley.
Yeah, are you a fan of Lashley or?
I think this feud's making me a fan of Lashley.
Yeah.
I know you hated it, but I like the tug of war shit and wrestling. I'm a fan of it. I think it's funny. It reminds me of Triple H versus Scott Steiner before they had those terrible matches. I think I'm looking forward to this because you haven't seen Braun in a week now, and I think this is going to be an absolute fucking brawl. If that's what they can do on Raw, what are we going to see? And that's what I'm excited for. I'm going to have to go with my main man, Braun Strowman. Yep. Sorry, Leo Rush.
I'm going to go with Lashley.
Yeah, that's good.
I've got to make up the pick somewhere, but
that's true.
Also, yeah, I mean, they sort of built him up, like we said, squashing Ray on Raw. So just sort of hoping that they give Lashley a bit of a crack. He hasn't really had much of a push. I mean, I know he was Intercontinental Champion for a hot second, but we'll see what they do. I just want to see them break stuff like they did on Raw, like just tear things up at Extreme Rules. Hopefully,
yeah.
We'll see how it goes. The US title on the line: Ricochet versus AJ Styles. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Who do you have winning this one?
I have. I went back and forth on this one. Originally had AJ, and I was like, I feel like Ricochet is going to pull out a win here, and then maybe get some respect from AJ Styles. I think I'm too set on that I want these four to be a faction. So I'm just going to go with Ricochet picks up the title. I'll keep the title, sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's very tough to pick this one. I'm going with AJ just because they've just formed the group. I don't know. Ricochet will still look good. He's a babyface that seems like he can sort of take a loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go with AJ Styles, but not with a lot of confidence. So this one's definitely one that I could get wrong.
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Maybe they have a draw.
Yeah, time limit draw. Start taking up to AEW. A dream tag team match, obviously, with the best in the world, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre against The Undertaker and Roman Reigns in a no holds barred match. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm gonna have to go the best in the world, The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. I think they should get this win. I think it'd be like a nice little closure on the Roman Reigns Undertaker story they had, and also like an Undertaker Shane story, and also obviously the Roman Drew and Shane story. Maybe put that to bed, and this is a way of putting it all together.
Yeah, I hope this is the end for all of that. I'll go Taker and Roman as well. I don't see Taker coming back just to lose. I don't know. It'd be nice to see Drew beat Undertaker actually, but.
People think Drew Undertaker's happening for SummerSlam, so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that could be a way to go about it. I'd see it more likely that Drew beats him up post match or something.
Yeah,
but it's hard to bet against Roman Reigns, especially when he's teaming up with the Undertaker. So
it's very true.
I'll lock that in as well. And we've got the handicap match for the SmackDown Women's title: Bayley versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm going to have Bayley wins via Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss shenanigans.
Yeah. Is this the moment where they sort of implode, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss splitting, and maybe this leads to a feud between them two, like an actual feud that's not for a title.
Yeah.
That's like that's what the women's division never really gets. So I feel like it's right there in front of them. They should do it.
Crowd's definitely into it as well. I think the crowd will get behind it.
100%, yeah. And people love Alexa Bliss because she's hot.
And this is in Philadelphia, I believe, so I think the crowd will be pretty into it, especially if Nikki Cross turns. I think it'll be...
Yeah, 100%.
I'm with you. Bayley wins this one, and they self-combust. Kofi Kingston defends the WWE Championship against Samoa Joe. Who do you have winning this one?
I forgot who I have. I had Samoa Joe. I'm going to go with Joe. I think Kofi's time has come. But what does throw a spanner into works is Paul Heyman's promo this week.
Yeah.
And he said he's spoiling that Brock Lesnar cashed in, and he said he hasn't been wrong about spoilers since WrestleMania 30. So it's kind of like, is he going to cash in? Like, is he going to be a swerve and cash in on Kofi? I don't know.
Yeah, this is one I went back and forth on as well. I kind of want Joe to win as much as I love Kofi as champ. I'm gonna pick Kofi. With no confidence whatsoever. And you're right, the Brock thing, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if he would actually appear. It seems kind of strange that he'd appear on a pay-per-view before SummerSlam, but
yeah,
you never know. Brock might be wanting that payday, hanging out for
that's true.
$1 million or whatever he gets per show. And then the last match is the mixed tag Extreme Rules match. Winner take all for both the Raw Women's Championship and the Universal Championship. Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm going Seki Rollins for the win here. I don't think. See, my idea is that Brock Lesnar does not cash in for this night, and that Seth and Becky get a win, and then we see the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh, that's I mean that's got to be soon.
Has to be here. If it's not here, they've ruined it. And like I've seen some tweets about it, and people are like, if they don't pull the trigger on it, it's just gonna fizzle out.
I would say wait until Raw. If it doesn't happen on the Raw after, then be pissed. But
yeah,
because I don't know if they'd have Bray appear when it's Becky and Seth. Because I want to just lay out Seth, but. I mean, if you want to get people talking, lay them both out, maybe.
Lay them both out, exactly right. It's 2019 to fucking intergender.
Intergender wrestling's fine. Yeah, Seth and Becky makes sense. Could you imagine if Lacey Evans beats Becky Lynch and that's how Baron Corbin gets his Universal title?
Yes, because I've seen people might say that Brock cashes in then.
I mean, I just think if Brock doesn't cash in, and that's how Corbin wins the Universal title, that's incredible heat for Baron Corbin. He won the Universal title without beating anyone. That would be very interesting. But
yeah, I wouldn't hate it.
I know. Well, yeah, you're the Baron Corbin fan in the world, so
the one
of them. So that's all the Extreme Rules matches. What are you excited for the show? Is it?
I'm a little bit excited. I'm not excited for the main event at all. I'm excited for the outcome and like if there's something that happens post match, but I'm kind of excited for the show. Like, it seems like to not be a popular thing to say about WWE these days, but I'm kind of excited for it.
I think there's some matches on there that are pretty. Black and Cesaro will be great. The Cruiserweight title will be great.
I'll be honest. There's no matches on here until maybe Bayley, Alexa Bliss, if they pull out that fucking match they had the last pay-per-view. But other than that, like literally, I love every match on the show.
Yeah, I agree. I was just looking through it. Like, if Strowman and Lashley do what we think they're going to do, that'll be good. It's no holds barred with Taker, Roman, Drew, and Shane.
Exactly.
So
and it's Undertaker. Like, it's always like kind of good to see him, even though he had a terrible match with Goldberg. This is going to have some shenanigans behind it. I'm not. Yeah, go.
I think the main event, because that's Extreme Rules, so I think there's a possibility that they have some pretty fun spots in there. So.
This and it really helps protect Lacey Evans there, like having some weapons and stuff in it. So that's good.
Yeah. So I think overall it's going to be a fun show, and I'm kind of excited for it as well, which is surprising to say, but we'll see what happens. Also happening this weekend is Fight for the Fallen, AEW's third show. This is to support against gun violence or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
It is. I think a lot of the proceeds are going to charity for this show, so which is pretty impressive from AEW to do that. So the first couple of matches we'll get stuck into on the buy-in. I think these have been announced today that they're on the buy-in. First one is Sonny Kiss versus the Librarian Peter Avalon. Who do you have winning this one?
I got Sonny Kiss.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you not a fan of the Librarian?
No. I hate Levi Bates.
What about Peter Avalon?
He's cool. But I liked him when he wasn't the librarian on being the elite. I thought he was hilarious. I don't like Levi Bates' work, and there's a lot of people on Twitter love her work. I don't get it.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan.
She's not a great wrestler.
But I mean, the good thing is she won't be wrestling on this show. It'll be interesting. Well,
She's going to cost him the match.
That's true. That's why I have Sunny Kiss as well, because that's how Leva Bates lost her match, I think, at Fight.
Yeah, because he was holding. Peter Avalon was holding a book that said how to sell or something.
And this is sort of the first chance that we're getting to see Sunny Kiss in a one-on-one match. He was in the Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, but this is sort of his chance to shine. So I would just put money on Sunny Kiss winning this one. The next match is on the buy-in. Is a 6-man tag. Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela against MJF, Sean Spears, and Sammy Guevara. Who do you have winning this one?
Oh, Sammy G, back from the dead. I think they're going to keep the momentum going with MJF and Sean Spears, and I think they're going to pick up the win, that team. Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin had a good showing last pay-per-view, and same with Joey Janela. I feel like just MJF, you got to keep him strong. Like, I don't know. MJF and Sean Spears should be straight at the top.
I think MJF and Sean Spears is the reason they lose. I think.
You reckon they fight over Cody?
Yeah, I think they're gonna come to blows in the match, and that's gonna give Havoc, Darby Allin, or Joey Janela a win. It's sort of interesting. I think, did MJF tweet about this when the match got announced? Like, are you fucking kidding me, or something like that? So,
no, I didn't see that. Wow.
I love it. I love MJF, and I hope he cuts a promo pre-match, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. The first match that's on the main card is Brandy Rhodes versus Ali. Who do you have winning this one?
I have Ali to win, and I just think she'll keep her momentum going on, because Ali is a pretty big name.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't think they're going to push Brandy Rhodes to be the face of the women's division or anything like that. So,
I kind of hope not.
I mean, yeah, she's sort of inexperienced in the ring and hasn't had a lot of matches.
Yeah,
but Ali seems like one that they might use going forward in the main event of the women's title picture. So it doesn't make sense to me to have Brandy win. And I'd back Ali to win. I don't know who the main stars of the women's division are going to be, but I think Ali will be one of the top names, you would think.
Yeah.
The next match is Hangman Adam Page against Superbad Kip Sabian. Who do you have winning this one?
I have Hangman. You're going to keep his momentum rolling on to All Out.
It doesn't make sense to have Hangman lose before he has a world title match, does it?
Nope. But Kip Sabian's also undefeated, so...
That is true. I mean,
so, be interesting.
Have Kip win, and then he'll take over. He will main event against Chris Jericho next month.
Exactly. That's a real money-making match.
Yeah, I've got Hangman as well. He seems to be the guy, like the future face of AEW, and I don't know if he'll win the world title, but he's going to be right up there for when the company starts on TV. So
yeah,
Page for me just makes sense. This one I'm kind of looking forward to this one. It's Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky of SCU against the Lucha Bros, Pentagon and Phoenix. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm going to go with the Lucha Bros by a hair. I just think they'll just get over the line. I'm very excited for Kaz and Scorpio. And no offense to Daniel, but I do prefer these two together out of the three. So I think this is going to be a really good match, and that does have the potential to be the best match on the card.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Lucha Bros along with the Young Bucks, probably going to be the top tag teams in the company. So just keep them strong, and it's going to be a good match. I say you'll definitely put out a good match. I'm with you, actually. I like Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian together.
They're way better than Daniels. Daniels is good on his own, like not on his own, but like as the front man of SCU.
Yeah, he can be sort of the guy working the singles matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, with his goggles. Yeah,
great goggles. The next match is Kenny Omega against Shima. This will be interesting, I suppose. It's sort of just a tune-up match, I guess, for Kenny before he wrestles Moxley at All Out, correct?
Yeah.
So, who do you have out of this match?
Shima. No. We've got Kenny. I don't know what to expect from this match, so I don't know.
That's true. Shima sort of looked decent in the match he had with Daniels at Fighter Fest, but that was like a 10-minute match.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's going to carry him to a good match on the AEW roster, I would probably back Kenny in. But
when's the last good Kenny Omega match? Oh, can't even remember.
He just has garbage matches, doesn't he? Yeah.
Can't even remember.
1-star savior Kenny Omega. And the last match, I assume this is going to be the main event. It's the Young Bucks against Cody and Dustin Rhodes, the Brotherhood. Who do you have winning this one?
I don't need a friend. I don't need a partner. I need my older brother. I'm going to go with Cody and Dustin getting a win here.
Wow.
I think if this closes the show, what a better moment than you're going to have these two close the show. I think that's how it should be.
I mean, I have the Real Brothers winning. I have Matt.
The Real
Jackson,
Brothers.
Yeah. The Massey brothers. I don't know. I feel like they're supposed to care about wins and losses, so I think the Young Bucks are supposed to be.
That's why I want the Young Bucks to lose all the time, because they're gonna think they're too old, and then they have to build themselves up. Not just they start at the top of the division of the company they started.
They might. I mean, losing to a team that's not really a team. That's sort of
It's a bit of
a shot. Yeah.
I mean, these are former WWE Tag Team Champions.
That's true. They beat the Shield, so that's pretty. I don't know. Are they allowed to say that on AEW TV? Just mention that Moxley's there. They beat Moxley.
They're former Wrestling Federation World Champion Tag Champions.
Yeah, that's down in New York. They beat Moxley and those guys.
Moxley and Leaky.
So this one's looking good. It's shout out to if you're living in America and you get this for free on BR Live. I'm kind of jealous, but it's fairly cheap for everyone else in the world, I believe. So
yeah,
check that one out. But Matt, you've also said that Evolve. I think it's Evolve 131. It's the 10th anniversary shows on WWE Network.
Yeah, personally, I was going to watch that instead.
Yeah, which is a.
But I am busy, but I will definitely get to catch up on both of them.
I don't know if you're talking about it in the news, but that's happening this weekend as well. So,
I mean, I mentioned the whole card last week, so
Adam Cole's on it, so people should watch that if they get.
I mean, Adam Cole versus Akira Tozawa. I mean, if you just if you, off the top of your head, you might think it's not going to be a great match, but it will be. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true. So that does it for the Fight for the Fallen prediction. So we'll get stuck into your news roundup.
Okay, there's not a whole heap of news, but during the first night of the G1 Climax, New Japan announced a 3-show East Coast tour for September, and it's going to be called the New Japan Fighting Spirit Unleashed Tour, and it will begin at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium in Massachusetts on Friday, September 27th. Second show will take place at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, so classic ECW. And then there'll be one at the Philadelphia Arena the next day. So they're having 4 ECW shows. These will be sold out. I already know that for a fact. Complete different situation than the G1 being in Dallas.
Yeah,
it was held there because of Mark Cuban.
Yeah, they had it in the American Airlines Center, which is a massive arena, so it was always tough to sell that.
So it was they held it there because of Mark Cuban. Obviously owns Access TV. So that's why he gave them that arena. We're gonna have up next. We're gonna talk about PWG, and they have their upcoming Battle of Los Angeles tournament coming up, and they have some pretty nice names in it. And they include A-Kid, Jonathan Gresham, Artemis Spencer, Darby Allin, Mick Moretti, Orange Cassidy, and Bandito have been announced so far. So that's pretty cool. Moretti and Spencer will be making their debuts for the promotion here, and this is.
Did you mention Robbie Eagles? Has he been announced?
Not announced. No.
Oh, okay. I thought he tweeted something about it. I don't know if I didn't really.
Maybe he wants to be in it.
Yeah, I didn't really read it, but.
Well, this year's Battle of Los Angeles will take place at the Globe Theatre in LA on September 19th, 20th, and 22nd, and 24 participants. So there's still a heap more to come. And the winner gets a future title shot at Jeff Cobb, the big man himself. So next up is a nice, weird throwback piece of news. According to an unlisted video on WWE's YouTube page, they're going to be taping a Raw and SmackDown on September 9th and 10th at Madison Square Garden.
Really?
Yes, and this is pretty interesting because this is coming just days before AAA are going to be running Madison Square Garden on September 15th. So that's pretty cool, but I don't think that affects AAA in any way. If anything, they're probably going to have advertising there for it, like people who actually go to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like it's just like when you go to Rod Laver here, they have ads for what's coming up.
Yeah, that's true.
What's up? Well, next we have. Well, I have some Slammiversary news. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I wrote that down to remind myself because I actually went out of my way to watch it this week. I sort of saw that there was a bit of buzz about it, so I thought I'd check it out, and I was very surprised at how good the show was from top to bottom. I thought they put in a pretty good effort, and we don't really talk about Impact that much, but they got some pretty talented people in the company, and they tore it up, I thought.
People are saying this is the best pay-per-view of any promotion this year.
It was very solid. And the main event, intergender match between Sami Callihan and Tessa Blanchard, which was... I thought it was really cool that they made that the main event, and it was sort of... it's not really something anyone's really doing. I know AEW don't want to do intergender wrestling, and we don't really see it in WWE, so that's...
That's a market they can capitalize on.
Yeah, it's true, yeah. And Tessa's the perfect superstar to have in that position, because she's very believable. I definitely thought she could beat up Sami Callihan, so that was good.
Yeah. Well, next up we have a Rhino who appeared to have made his debut at Impact Wrestling at Slammiversary after Brian Cage retained the Impact Championship against Michael Elgin by reversing a powerbomb attempt into a pin. There was a post-match angle where Elgin hit Cage with the title belt. Elgin then got into it with Don Callis and went for a powerbomb, but a masked man came in the ring, hit a gore on Elgin, and did Rhino's taunt, and he didn't reveal his face.
Yeah.
So, but his contract hasn't run out, so I don't get this.
Yeah, that's why he didn't show his face, I think.
I don't get that though. That's not. Unless WWE are like, oh, you can do it.
Yeah, I read. I don't know who. Someone that reports on wrestling said that WWE probably won't do anything about it. They don't really care.
I mean, yeah, they would. Yeah, I reckon he's asked WWE to do it, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck.
That's probably true.
I feel like that's the case here.
When I was watching it, I sort of saw something as I was watching the show that said that like WWE star shows up at Impact, or former WWE star, and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So I'm sort of waiting throughout the show. I was so disappointed when it was Rhino. I thought it was going to be someone a really big name. I kind of forgot that Rhino wasn't.
Was a worker.
Yeah, so.
Actually, on top of that, saying at WWE record returns, Aaron Rex or Damien Sandow, he's coming back from retirement.
Really?
I don't know why he retired. I can't remember why, but he's coming back.
Well, there you go. That's going to be exciting.
That's cool. Quick little YouTube roundup: up, down, down with Xavier Woods. He's finished his SmackDown Here Comes the Pain playthrough, and he didn't win the World Championship WrestleMania. Instead, he finished off with the Cruiserweight US title and tag belts. So, but he didn't get the full story where you win the title at WrestleMania. And catch up on his other one with Tyler Breeze. We have next up the new being the Elite, which is 160, and it's called Go Away Heat and BTE Mailbag.
Do you hate that
Where the cast answer your questions.
Do you hate that as much as me? Or?
Yeah, the sting for it, or
yeah, that's so annoying.
It's very Kenny Omega inspired.
Oh, yeah.
I think it calls back to like an old kind of BTE, and just a shitty intro.
Yeah, but God, it's so annoying. Jeez.
I agree. Sheamus's Celtic Warrior Workouts, episode 85 with some goober. We have Demandy's Donuts, episode 44. They didn't really find donuts wherever they were, so they had like other stuff. It was cool. Lots of the usual channels that didn't post videos. There's Eric Bugenhagen, 3 new videos. WPC have posted Bianca Belair's graduation, but this happened in May, and I found out Bianca Belair has a channel. She has about 5K subscribers, and they've taken this video and just edited it down off from her channel. So I thought that was weird, and it happened 2 months ago. Why are they posting about it now? Kind of weird. But so Bianca Belair's channel gets a sub from me, and that's your news roundup for this week.
Very thorough job again. That sort of leads us into this week's top 5.
Well, have I got the top 5 for you?
I hope so.
Well, I've got top 5 worst backstage fights.
Nice.
And we'll go number 5, one you wouldn't expect to hear. And it's Eve Torres versus Matt Hardy.
Is that a backstage fight that happened? I don't really remember.
They were play wrestling backstage. And it's interesting to note, this was before Eve Torres was an active performer. This is when she was backstage interviewer. Right. They were having a bit of a roll around, and things got a bit heated. And then Torres, her defensive instincts came in, and she decided to give a rear naked choke to Matt Hardy. Since she had just started taking training for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it worked brilliantly. And Matt Hardy was actually put to sleep by her.
Jesus.
And it's worth noting that she wasn't an active performer at the time. So that's a great one. And number 4, we got Jericho versus Lesnar. After Jericho was talking shit about Randy Orton's match with Brock, and then it's just they got into it a little bit. Number 3, Blue Meanie versus JBL. Who could forget them fighting in the ring at One Night Stand, and then it led to a backstage thing, and then it led to a SmackDown match, and that wasn't good. But the fight was probably not as good either.
What a surprise! JBL vs Blue Meanie wasn't going to be a good match.
Actually, I watched that segment recently. Yeah, really bad. Simon Dean's better as Simon Dean, not Nova. Number 2. Your boy Goldberg versus Chris Jericho, and they had a bit of a scuffle backstage after Jericho said he was a shit worker, and there's the punches thrown, and Jericho was said to have won this fight.
Yeah, turns out he's actually a tough guy, Jericho. You wouldn't know.
Bit of a tough cookie, given that Judas effect.
Exactly.
And number 1 worst fight: Joey Janela versus Enzo Amore.
I'm glad you got it in somewhere.
At a Blink-182 concert, so it's interesting. They didn't have a fight, they didn't throw a punch, and it's being reported everywhere that they had a fight, and they didn't. And
Enzo put up video of it today.
Yeah, there was no punches. There was no punches. They just squared up. Not a single punch was thrown. Everyone seems to just hate anything Enzo does, and I don't think it's working out in his favor, to be honest.
I thought it was funny. I like seeing this stuff on Twitter.
I do as well. Yeah. I do as well. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that something would happen with the free agents. Seems like people, seem by the comments that people just hate Enzo, and they feel sorry for Cass because he gets saddled with Enzo now. Because people have watched the video I told you to watch, the DDP video. It's a good emotional video about his depression, and I don't know, see where the free agency goes.
I wonder if they'll ever wrestle somewhere.
Maybe they'll do a wrestle somewhere, but maybe they'll just sit in the streets of New York and have fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Or do them.
Well, is there any other wrestling stuff that we need to talk about? I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I mean, I finished NXT. It was a nice show. Not a whole lot of wrestling.
Well, that's something I've got to check out. So,
I mean, there's 3 matches. There's the Archman, Damian Priest.
Oh, nice.
There's the Breakout Tournament and the Street Profits match. It was by far the best match. Io Shirai did a promo. can't remember much else. I think that was it.
There you go. It sounds exciting. So everyone, go check that out.
And 205 Live.
205 Live is good this week, you said?
There's an extreme, or an anything goes match between Oney Lorcan and Arya Daivari. It's not a wrestling classic, but it's an absolute war.
There you go, folks. Go check that out, and then also go and rate, subscribe, share our podcast.
Oof.
You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, anywhere where good podcasts are available. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestle Hunks Pod if you want to go give us a follow. If you want to get in touch with us and send us any questions or anything you want to hear on the podcast, do it through there. Or you can get in touch with us at our individual accounts. Nathan's at Nath Marlowe on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Evil Brody Price. Does that do it for this week, Nat?
Yeah, I think it is. Say the line.
That's all for this week. Stay hunky.